For 3.3 practice and homework, you have to choose, looks like 8 problems. I'm going to do the odds with you here on this video. So if you need help, this is a great place to start. So it says, Darlene cuts a 9.5-foot long pipe into pieces. So here's the whole pipe and she's cutting them into pieces that are 2 3/8 long. How many pieces of pipe does she have? It says explain. If you show your work, that's a great explanation. So when we take this 9.5, we're taking the whole thing and we're dividing it into pieces that are 2 3/8. So we want to set up our problem. Now we don't just want to do 9 divided by 2, 1 divided by 3. We want to put all those pieces together. So we want to make these improper to see the actual pieces that we have. So 9 times 2 is 18, plus 1 is 19 over 2. We're dividing it by 8 times 2 is 16, 17, 18, 19 over 8. Now I can't do 2 divided by 8 nicely, so I am going to use that multiplicative reciprocal, and we are going to copy, dot, flop. So we're using that reciprocal there to turn it into a multiplying problem. Now I can see here that I can simplify. I can make my life easier. I don't need to do 19 divided by 8. So I need to think, what can 19 go into 19? Yes, it can. How many times? 1. How many times? 1. Then I can also go this way. Can 2 go into 8? Yes, it can. How many? 8 divided by 2 is 4. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So now I can just do 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. 4 divided by 1 is 4. They can get 4 pieces. So you've got to have all that work as your explanation. So we wrote down the problem as a division problem. We made them improper. We simplified, or we rewrote it as a multiplication problem. We simplified. We finished our work. So I am going to go to number 3, and sorry, ignore that right there. So it says every 14 days, Debbie's dog eats 4 1/5 pounds of dog food. If the dog eats the same amount of food every day, eating the same for 14 days, how many pounds does her dog eat per day? So we want to take the pounds per day, pounds per day, pounds divided by day. So we will, right? Even though 4 is smaller, they're not the same thing. These are pounds, these are days. We're taking the pounds and dividing them up into the days. So we need to take 4 1/5 and we need to divide it by 14. So just because 14 was first, we don't write that first. We take what we have, the pounds, and we're dividing it by the days to see how much she eats in one day. So now we need to rewrite it as the improper fraction. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 is 21 over 5 divided by 14 over 1. So I can't do 21 divided by 14 nicely, so we are going to use that multiplicative reciprocal. We're going to multiply by the inverse. We're going to flip that upside down, so copy dot flop. So this can't get smaller, it's already 1. But I'm going to look this way. So can 14 go into 21? No. Can 13? No. 12? No. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7 goes into 21 and 14. I'm dividing these both by 7. 21 divided by 7 is 3. 14 divided by 7 is 2. So now 3 times 1 is 3. 5 times 2 is 10. So she eats 3/10 of a pound every day. The dog does. 3/10, 3/10, 3/10, and after 2 weeks, that dog ate 4.5 pounds of dog food. Okay, skipping to number 5. Brad reads his favorite book for 1 1/4 hours each day. So that's how long he's reading. If he has read the book for 22.5 hours so far, how many days has he read that book? So we want to take his total, which is 22.5, and put that first. And we want to divide it by how much he reads each day. So, right, okay, so we're needing to make it improper. 22 times 2 is 44, plus 1 is 43 over 2, and we are dividing that by 4, 5 over 4. I can't do 53 divided by 5 very nicely, so I'm going to use the multiplicative inverse, copy the first one, and multiply it by the opposite of the second one. So 5 can't go into 43, 4 can't, 3 can't, 2 can't. The only thing they can be divided by is 1, so we're going to leave those ones, but we can simplify here a little bit. 2 goes into 2 one time. 2 goes into 4 2 times. So now I have 43 times 2, so I need to do that. I don't know it off the top of my head, is 86. And then 1 times 5 is 5. So it wants to know how many days that Brad has read, and he has 86 over 5. That's not an answer to that question. So we need to go ahead and finish that. 86 divided by 5. So 5 goes into 8 one time. 3 left over. 5 goes into 36 7 times, which is 35, with 1 left over. I'm going to add a decimal and bring down a 0. 5 goes into that 2 times. So he's read 17 days, and then he's 2/10 of the way through this. So he's read 17 complete days. He's working on reading the 18th day. He started on the 18th day. He's just not quite finished reading that there. Okay, and number 7 is what I'm going to help you with. And I think these ones, after you've done the story problems, should be pretty easy. So it's already written out in the right order for us. So 5 times 2 is 10. So I'm going to do this out to the side here. 10, plus 1. Don't want to forget that. That would be a different answer. And we're dividing it by 6 over 1. Now we need to copy, dot, flop. So 11 times 1 is 11. 2 times 6 is 12. I can't divide this because the little number's on top. This answer is just 11 12. So you need to make sure you have your work on your paper or a scratch paper. Okay, I'm going to do number 9 and 11 with you, and then you need to just finish any other problems to get up to 8. So it's already set up. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5 over 2. That was not a very good 5, but there we go. And then 16 plus 5 is 21 over 8. So we need to copy, dot, flop, flip it upside down. Okay, 5 can't go into 21, neither can anything else, but we can get smaller this way. So can 2 go into 8? Yes, 4 times. 2 goes into 2 one time. So now 5 times 4 is 20. 1 times 21 is 21. So this is 20 21st. It's almost a whole thing. It's missing a tiny piece. Look, we're pretty much taking 2 and dividing it by a tiny bit more. It almost makes a whole group. Same thing here. We took 5.5 and we wanted to put 6 in a group. We had almost enough, not quite enough to make a whole group. So even though these answers are kind of weird, they make sense. Okay, this one here, 5. So this is taking 2 and dividing it by 3. So it should be a little bit less than 1 again. Maybe a little bit under 1. So 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11 over 5. Divided by 21, 22 over 7. So now we need to copy, dot, flop, because it's a lot easier to use those as multiplication problems. So 5 and 7 can't simplify, but 11 and 22 can. 11 divided by 11 is 1. 22 divided by 11 is 2. So now I have 1 times 7 is 7. 5 times 2 is 10. So this is 7/10 of the group, or 70% of it. So make sure you finish any problems you need to. So set it up. What's the total? What are you dividing it by? Make them improper. Check if you can make your life easier and simplify first. And then you need to make sure you copy.flop, simplify, and finish your problems.